Hello and welcome to this session on Classical Music Festivals of India. Let us take a look at the objectives of the session. The session focuses on the classical music festivals organized in India. Several music festivals are organized throughout the year in India. These festivals are hosted to pay homage to people who have made remarkable contribution in developing, enriching and popularizing Indian music. International or domestic tourists fond of music and culture can plan their itinerary to coincide with these festivals. These musical exposures enhances the overall experience of the tourists. So the objective of the forthcoming session is the session concentrates on the outline, the importance of music festivals for tourism promotion. It discusses a few internationally popular classical music festivals of India. The most recent musical festival started by the state government of Andhra Pradesh at Amravati is described in detail. The success of Amravati Music and Dance Festival to project the region as a hot spot for tourism is also touched upon. Let us look at the background of the music festivals of India. Music and dance festival at tourist destinations signal the arrival of music tourism in India. Several music festivals are organized throughout the year. These festivals are hosted to pay homage to people who have made remarkable contributions in developing, enriching and popularizing Indian music. It also provides a platform for young singers and musicians to work in collaboration with the eminent fraternity of the music industry to showcase their talent. The origins of Indian classical music can be found in the Vedas, which are the oldest scriptures in the Hindu traditions, dating back to around 1500 BC. Indian classical music has been significantly influenced by Indian folk music. There are two divisions in Indian classical music: Hindustani music, which is mainly found in North India, and Carnatic music from South India. The Carnatic music tends to be more rhythmically intensive and structured than the Hindustani music. While some festivals such as the Carnatic Tyagaraja Aradhana, founded in the 1840s, continue to focus on traditional Carnatic classical music, an emerging trend of the past few decades has been that of fusion music, where genres such as Khyal and Western music are intermixed to appeal to a wider audience. Let me now take you through some of the most famous international classical music festivals of India. The first is the Tyagaraja Aradhana. This festival commenced in the year 1846 at Tiruvayuru, Tamil Nadu. It is the annual Aradhana dedicated to the Telugu saint composer Tyagaraja. Aradhana is a Sanskrit term meaning the act of glorifying God or a person. Now the festival is observed in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, but primarily in Tiruvayuru. This is the place where Tyagaraja attained Samadhi. The Aradhana is observed on Paushya Bahula Panchami, the day when the saint attained Samadhi. The musicians come here every year to render the saint's Pancharatna Kirtis. Tyagaraja died in 1847. A few days before his death, he had formally renounced everything and become a sannyasi. When he passed on, his mortal remains were buried on the banks of the river Kaveri, and a small memorial was built at the site. His disciples returned to their respective villages and observed the death anniversary at their own homes. The memorial soon fell into neglect and had become quite dilapidated by 1903, when two of Tyagaraja's surviving students who had been taught by Tyagaraja, happened to make a nostalgic visit to the site. These were the elderly and eminent musician Ummayalapuram Krishna Bhagavatar and Surandara Bhagavatar. They were dismayed by the neglect and dilapidation. Indeed, they had to search for the memorial in the wild foliage of the riverbank. They arranged for the renovation of the Samadhi and decided to commemorate the Tithi or death anniversary of their Guru every year at the Samadhi itself. From the following year, efforts were made by musical stalwarts to observe the death anniversary regularly at Tiruvayuru and to use the occasion as an opportunity for Tyagaraja's followers to converge and interact with each other. In 1905, a lavish ceremony complete with feeding of the poor and worship at the memorial as per the Vedic tenets were celebrated. Several controversies arose amongst the organizers, and for many years, 3 main concerts were being held. This continued till 1940 when Y.S. Krishnaswamy, who was an ICS, convinced the groups to unite, and it was in 1941 that the Aradhana as we know today was first conducted. The next festival is the Chambai Sangeetholsavam. This festival started in the year 1910 at Guruvayur, Kerala. It is an annual Carnatic music festival held in Guruvayur, quite similar to the Tyagaraja Aradhana. The festival is held in the memory of Chembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar, one of the titans of Carnatic classical music and an ardent devotee of Lord Guruvayurappan. Chembai had conducted this festival in the temple town all on his own for about 60 years. He used to invite anyone interested in Carnatic music, from small children to renowned musicians of his time, to perform at the festival. In course of time, the scale of this festival rivaled the Tyagaraja Aradhana. The Guruvayur Devaswam decided to take ownership of this festival after Chembai's death in 1974, renaming it as Chembai Sangeetholsavam in his memory. About 3,000 musicians participate in this festival every year, and it is held for about 12 to 15 days, culminating on the Guruvayur Ekadashi day, when all the musicians sing 5 favorite songs of Chembai and also the Pancharatna Kritis of Tyagaraja. The festival is getting more popular year after year, and its duration has increased from 3 days in its inception to 14 days now. The next festival is the Purandara Dasa Aradhana. This festival began in 1974 at Hampi, Karnataka. It is an annual Aradhana in the honor of the composer Purandara Dasa, who is considered as the Pitama or the father of the Carnatic music. The festival is observed in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, but primarily in Hampi, the place where Purandara Das lived and attained Samadhi. The Aradhana is observed in Paushya Bahula Amavasya day when the saint attained Samadhi. The Aradhana is held every year on the anniversary of the demise of the saint. This is on the Paushya Bahula Amavasya, as has already been stated. It is the Indian lunar calendar when a new moon day generally happens, which is in the month of February and March. The Aradhana is celebrated across various parts of South India, including Pandarapur, Tirumala, Hampi and Mantrayalam. In Hampi, it's organized by Purandara Dasara Aradhana Samiti Trust, with annual programs organized. In Tirumala, it is organized by the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams. by the Dasa Sahitya project annually around January-February. Now in the early 1970s, there was a great regret that Purandara Dasa was not given the status in Karnataka that Tyagaraja enjoyed in Tamil Nadu. Inspired by this, Kannada journalist N.A. Murthy started the Purandara Dasara Aradhana at Hampi and organized the annual program starting from 1974 through 1976. After his death, his son Raja Rao started organizing this program annually. The next major event in the Indian calendar is the Harballabh Sangeet Sammelan, which began in 1875 at Jalandhar, Punjab. It is the oldest festival of Indian classical music in the world. It is celebrated every year at the sacred seat of music, the Samadhi of Baba Harballabh, a saint and an exponent of Hindustani classical music. The first Sammelan was held in 1875 at the Siddh Peeth Shri Devi Talab in Jalandhar. Since then it has been held every year. The Sangeet Sammelan, which has grown from strength to strength in the last so many years, almost more than 130 years, has been attracting audiences and artists from all across the country and abroad. This festival was declared as one of the national festivals by the Department of Tourism, Government of India. All prominent artists of Hindustani classical music from India and Pakistan have come and performed at the Harballabh Sangeet Sammelan at one time or the other during the last more than 130 years now. Father of the nation Mahatma Gandhi, accompanied by Vishnu Digambar Paluskar, visited Baba Harballabh Sangeet Sammelan in the year 1919. The Union Minister, governors, state chief ministers, state ministers and other VIPs have been visiting to pay their reverence at this festival of music. The festival attracts thousands of music lovers from all over India and abroad every year. This number is increasing year after year. In 1956, a Sangeet Academy was constructed under the banner of Swami Harballabh. Swami Harballabh, to whom this entire festival is dedicated, was a great artist who gave away all his energy and life for the betterment of music and the world in general. The main aim of the festival is to attract and encourage more and more people for the development of classical music. There is also a proper syllabus for the pursuits of music, and there is a shrine at the banks of the river with the name Devi Talab. There is a Shiva Lingam in the temple nearby, and one adores the exquisite phallic image of Lord Shiva. On the day of the fair, there is also free lodging and accommodation. It is held near the Samadhi of Saint Harballabh from the 27th to the 30th December. During this time, reputed musicians from all over India gather in Jalandhar to celebrate Indian classical music. Now the next event is the Tansen Samaroh or Tansen Sangeet Samaroh. This festival started in the 1950s at Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. It is celebrated every year in the month of December in Behat village of Gwalior district, Madhya Pradesh. It is a 4-day musical extravaganza. Artists and music lovers from all over the world gather here to pay tribute to the great Indian musical maestro Tansen. The event is organized near the tomb of Tansen by the Academy of the Department of Culture, Government of Madhya Pradesh. Artists from all over India are invited to deliver vocal and instrumental performances. Tansen Samaroh was originally a local festival, but it was at the initiative of B.V. Keskar, who was the Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting between 1952 and 1962, that Tansen Samaroh was turned into a popular musical festival at the national scale. The prestigious National Tansen Samman is a musical award conferred to the exponents of the Hindustani music. Now the next festival, which is again very popular at the international level, is the Dover Lane Music Conference. It is an annual Indian classical music festival held in the month of January at Nazrul Manch, an auditorium in South Kolkata. The festival derives its name from the fact that it was originally located on Dover Lane, courtesy to the patronage of late Shri Narendra Singh Singhi at his residence at Singhi Park. The festival had humble beginnings in 1952. Music lovers from the by-lanes of Kolkata used to gather in order to appreciate Indian classical music recitals. Over time, the festival has undergone many changes. Many stalwarts of Indian classical music have performed at the festival. The number of days and the number of artists performing have increased, and a large number of sponsors are now associated with the event. Instead of the original venue at Dover Lane, this annual event is now organized in the Nazrul Manch on Southern Avenue at Kolkata. The office of the organizing body is still at 18/2 Dover Lane. The music festival is usually held between the 22nd and the 25th of January, continuing up to daybreak on the 26th. The festival lasts for 4 days every year. Apart from established musicians, youngsters are also encouraged to participate and display their talent. Programs begin late in the evening and go on all night till the next morning. The festival draws large crowds every year. Its tickets are sold out within days of being made available. It has become one of the most important cultural events of the year. The festival boasts performances by a number of eminent musicians from all over the country. I would now like to introduce the case study of Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival. It is one of the most recent festivals to have been started in India. With more and more state governments joining the musical bandwagon, Andhra Pradesh Tourism Department launched the first Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival in the year 1917, organized by E-Factor Entertainment. The Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival started under the patronage and guidance of the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, to present the popular forms of global music and dance genres and how these art forms bring peace and harmony by exposing all to different cultures and bringing the world audience to come and experience Amravati at the same time. It features Indian and Western classical music, global fusion, folk and contemporary world music, besides the main focus which is on the Indian classical music and dances. The 4-day mega event is being organized by Andhra Pradesh government as a part of its effort to promote brand Amravati and give a thrust to tourism. The venue. The Pavitra Sangamam is the confluence or point of rivers Godavari and Krishna, and the area is now being developed into a major tourist attraction in the capital region of Amravati. The festival features Indian and Western classical music, Bollywood fusion, contemporary music, Indian classical dances, and is intended to present the popular global music and dancing genres. All these art forms bring peace and harmony by exposing different cultures and ideas to intermingle with each other. And of course, the main focus is that everyone arrives at Amravati. Now let us look at the concept of the festival. The festival is a cultural confluence with the best of classical performances against the backdrop of the riverfront of Krishna and Godavari, along with popular forms of international music and dance. It can therefore be considered as a contrived tourism product that is created and staged as a secondary attraction for the tourists who are already visiting the destination. A stellar lineup of Indian and international artists enthrall. Over 10,000 spectators come at the Maidan to attend the Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival. The majestic Krishna Godavari River also gives a beautiful background and a serene atmosphere. The festival, which is held in February at the new capital of Andhra Pradesh, is mandated to become an annual event, in keeping with the State Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu's vision to make Amravati a global hub for culture, music and art. Directed by globally acclaimed violin maestro L. Subramaniam, the extravaganza is pegged as India's first riverfront music and dance festival. Spanning genres such as Indian classical, Western classical music, folk music, etc. are conducted over here. When it commenced in 2017, it saw performers like Subramaniam, Pandit Birju Maharaj, Hema Malini, Kavita Krishnamurti, Talat Aziz, Anup Jalota, Trilok Gurut and Kazakh State Philanthropic Orchestra who performed during the occasion. Now let us look at the unique selling point of this entire event. Samit Garg, the CEO of E-Factor Entertainment Private Limited, the curator of the event, said that the USP of the event is the riverfront. The event therefore did not revolve around the rock troupe or the pop route, because there is a difference between a beachfront and the riverfront. When one thinks of the beach, the fun aspect comes to mind, while serenity comes to mind when one talks of riverfront. The idea was to mix and match different music and dance genres so that it has a concert feeling. The event was planned in coherence with the ethos of the upcoming state capital, which is also an ancient Buddhist pilgrimage site. According to the CEO Garg, the venue, Pavitra Sangamam Ghat at the river confluence, is at the vantage location to experience the music and dance in tandem with the stunning sunsets against the shimmering waters and the hills close by. Outdoor amphitheatre has been created which has a combined seating capacity to host 11,300 people. The sunset segment of the event is staged from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. when audiences can soak in the sonics and dance rhythms as the sun goes down behind the arena. Now let us look at the entire festival package. Since it is not enough for the music festival to become a wholesome tourist product on its own, to provide a wholesome experience, camping, boating and adventure activities on river islands have been integrated into the entertainment lineup. The event also offers a gamut of activities for travel and adventure enthusiasts aimed at making Amravati or putting Amravati on the global tourism map. The festival is a fusion of classical performances along with the other popular form of music. Other activities such as camping on an island, hot air ballooning, paramotoring and water sports on the river adds to the attraction for visitors. Let us now sum up this session. The session that has been dealt with has covered the importance of classical music festivals for the tourism development at a destination. As a contrived tourism product, classical music festivals of India can add to the overall tourist experience and at the same time glorify the non-material culture of our country. A music festival with the support of the government can become a much sought-for occasion and can become an annual feature or an annual attraction to music lovers and tourists. We have seen in this session the case study of Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival and how the contrived product has become a successful one. It is now organized annually ever since its inception in 2017. So efforts like the global music organized at Amravati can be enhanced, can be taken up by the other state governments. A music festival with the support of the government can become a much sought for occasion and can become an annual feature, attracting music lovers and tourists. We have seen in this session the case study of the Amravati Global Music and Dance Festival and how this contrived product has become a successful one ever since its inception. Similar products like these or similar festivals like these can be created at different states, since every state in India can boast of inspirational music. Or the already existing festivals can be given a boost by putting them on the Indian tourist calendar. I hope, dear viewers, you have gained from this session. Thank you so much.